Buenas noches, gente. This is, as always, Isidro Montalvo Espinosa, broadcast coordinator for Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña en Vivo. Today, I have the honor to present Game 2 of the Campeonato Nacional Puertorriqueño between the Tumbabrazos de Carolina and the Navegadores de Naguabo. If you haven't seen Game 1, you want to go back and do that. Trust me on this. It was an incredibly exciting game that ended in a way I think we can safely say no one in the booth was expecting. We're going to try to get through this game as quickly as possible, still honor all the great moments from it and everything. And we're hoping that this game will be over faster, as Nicodemo Caballero is certainly not a pitcher of Lennon Robertson's character or caliber, even. Although we do have to say he has won. He is an ilustre de serie, and he did very well this year. So do not be shocked if he turns in a better performance than you would expect. Although, admittedly, he did walk more batters than he struck out this year. Although, as you know, with the Navegadores, it is very often the case that they will have a lot more in. They will give a lot more slack to opposing pitchers. What is interesting is that this means the Navegadores get to deploy Pablo Salmeron to the field as their DH, as he's their starting designated hitter against lefties. He was not particularly effective yesterday for them. So we'll see if his presence in the lineup as a starter changes anything. If he has to surrender the spot to Declan Milne, that's going to be pretty embarrassing. And it also means that they don't have a third catcher. So if Salmeron has to come out of the game for any reason, things get real interesting for Harvey Burford. Big attendance at La Timonera. It is cloudy today, although not raining. Temperature a little bit cooler by a couple of degrees, and the wind is blowing out to left today. Pajkos, 32 and a third innings, 2-1 record, ERA of 2.78 in the postseason so far, 15 strikeouts to 9 walks. You've met the rest of these lineups. We'll fill you in on the Carolina pitcher when it's time, but otherwise, we're just going to get right down to it. The Navegadores take the field with a 1-0 lead on Carolina, winning Game 1 by the barest of margins. And Pajkos is here to try and slam the door on that lead, as he effectively did last year against the Jinetes. He begins with a base hit on the very first pitch given up to Cano. It'll be Del Castillo grabbing it out there, and we're off. Juan Perez up next on the second pitch of his at-bat. Stonehand is able to catch Cano stealing, and that's out number 1. Beautifully done there. Spike getting a little bit of his own back as he's had trouble. And Pajkos then has to pitch to a full count before he gets Perez for his first strikeout of the game. Pajkos still under double digits as he now faces Connor McDonald. They successfully bottled him up yesterday. Can they continue to do so? Pajkos, also not a pitcher of Ted Balloon's character, the caliber, I keep misspeaking. And there, as he bounces that one on the third pitch of the AB at 2-0. Pitch there. Fastball gets him to ground out to first. And despite the base hit, it's a pretty quick inning for Jan Pajkos here. That means that Joey Kroos will be leading up the bottom of the top of the second. We're just doing horrendously today. And Nicodemo Caballero, the lefty, has been doing very well in the course of the postseason. Indeed, 4 wins and 2 losses over 54 innings. An ERA of 2.17, 12 strikeouts to 11 walks. And as we mentioned on Ilustre de Serie, fastball, forkball, sinker, and cutter. So he does have the kind of arsenal that could be vulnerable to multiple lineup turnovers. And his fielding independent pitching is a little bit high. But with a superior defense behind him, they're really going to need to take advantage of the at-bats to make it happen. The Navegadores will start off with Rob Feaster as usual. He's going to last 2 pitches into this one. Caballero worth less than a win to his team and a 12-7 record during the season as he pops up. That's a big can of corn there, caught by Ramirez at third, and it's out number 1. Eto'o Shirley, who of course was the hero of yesterday's game, coming up clutch in the late innings, comes up next. He will not last particularly long either, but let's see what he manages to do. And the answer is he almost got another one there as that rolls all the way to the warning track. It bounces off the wall down for extra bases, and they're going to have to uncork that throw very quickly as Shirley breaks for third. He's in there, well ahead of the throw. Of course, we have to wait for the umpire's ruling. They like to have some fun with it, but it looks like he's safe. It's an Eto'o Shirley triple, and the font of wisdom is on fire once again. Here comes Vidal Santiago, and 5 pitches into this game, Caballero has to handle a man 90 feet away. The Navegadores could once again strike first here in this game. Man on third and 1 out for Santiago. And on the 1-2 count, he gets that one into right field. That will score the run. The Navegadores draw first blood here in the bottom of the first, as Vidal Santiago knocks one in. With an RBI single. Here comes Pablo Salmeron. As I mentioned, he's been doing very well in the postseason, but not so far in the Campeonato. Let's see if he wants to change that. As on the 1-1 count with a man on first and 1 out, he hits that one to right field, and it's well hit, but Holguín is there to make the catch. It'll be out number 2 on that forkball, and Santiago has to run back. Here comes Frank de Castillo, actually a bit worse against lefties despite being a righty. Let's see what's going to happen for him. Another hot hitter in the postseason for the Naves. On this very first pitch, the 5th. Oh, is that a pickoff attempt? And it is successful. Vidal Santiago gets caught sleeping, and the bottom of the first is over. The Navegadores get 2 hits and a run and leave no one. Thanks to Vidal Santiago's base running blunder, he will not be counted as stranded. We are through 1. The Navegadores ahead 1-0. Top of the second, Pajkos will face the always dangerous Joey Kroos. Over 1 10-pitch inning, he allowed a hit and had a strikeout. Kroos, of course, with the 38 homers, could equalize this game right here. And instead, he puts through a base hit. Controlling his swing there, it'll be another single. And Shirley can't quite corral it. He'll round first. Here comes Rene Espinosa. He did quite well yesterday, grabbing 2 hits. Let's see if they can keep him down the bases. That's a sac bunt, and they throw to first. They'll retire. Espinosa at first, but Kroos moves up to second. So 1 out and a man in scoring position for Pedro Ramirez. He could also conceivably try a sac hit and see what happens, but my guess is they'll tell him to swing away. That gets bounced out to Balk, and it's an easy ground out from him to first. The human ripcord makes it look easy there. 2 down, and a man still on second for Luis Holguín. Ideally, this will be an easy at-bat, but let's see what's going to happen for him. As on a full count, Holguín bounces that to Valdez. He's got it. Makes the throw. Feaster scoops it, and that's out number 3. Despite the Joey Kroos single, Carolina won't get anything else, and the Naves now have a chance, with Frank de Castillo still at the plate, to strike back against Nicodemo Caballero. Nicodemo Caballero, interestingly, Greek for victory of the people, and then, of course, horseman or knight. 1 inning, 13 pitches, 2 hits, 1 earned run. Let's see what Frank can do on the 1-2 pitch. Hits that one through. That's going to get past the shortstop, Eduino Ramos, and Frank will be on with a single. And Caballero, a great runner holder as well, so we should not be expecting any successful stealing, but that's almost certainly what he'll try. Here comes Benji Valdez on the 0-2 count. He hits that one. It's a big fly ball out to center field, and Frank must have known that was going to land because he is off. He was running all the way, as it's up to center fielder Cano to try and get the ball back in. Benji Valdez is going to be at... You are kidding me. Benji Valdez has a 2-run inside the park home run here in Game 2, and the Naves have a 3-run lead in the bottom of the second. Unbelievably, his superior speed beats the throw. I don't think we've seen one of those since the 1902 playoffs. Valdez put that one through, and Frank de Castillo, correctly judging that neither fielder would get there in time, took off running. That gave Benji all the speed he needed to get moving. And by the time Cano got rid of it, Benji was already ready to round third, full head of steam as that throw came in behind him. Excellent hustle, and the Navegadores take a 3-0 lead here on Caballero's 20th pitch of the night. I don't even know. He's allowed a total now of 16 runs during the postseason. I don't even know. Well, he did allow 3 earned runs in his previous game. That was over 10 innings, and he allowed 5 in the previous one. So it looks like this Interdivisional series may have been a little bit anomalous here. Here goes nothing as he'll now face Wally Balk, who had his own heroic moment in the last game. And here, that's okay, Wally. He strikes out. The human ripcord gets pulled away that time towards a cutter that he could not hit. Here comes Ham Underwood. Controlled pretty well by lefties. He's had trouble in the postseason. He's had hot streaks. Let's see which Ham is going to show up today, as he did quite well for himself during the regular season. Here, that gets thrown to Espinosa, and it's a hard hit, but Espinosa holds on and is able to make the scoop for the ground out. Out number 2. Spike Stonehand will come up next. The catcher, he did okay at draining some pitches out of Lennon Robertson and drew a walk, I believe, in one of those games. One of those at-bats, I mean. Here he draws another one. So he'll extend the inning, landing on base as the cutters and fastballs did not attract him. His on-base percentage during the postseason is actually over 100 points higher than his batting average. And here comes Rob Feaster. He's 0 for 1. He might be hot to trot after that pop-up effectively silenced him once again. Feaster did not get a hit, has not had a hit, I should say, in his last 5 games. One of the best hitters in the lineup has been pretty effectively put under control. And we can see why here, as he is once again bounced out. This time to first. Crows has it, goes to the base himself, and the inning is over. We are through 2. Naguabo pads their lead to 3-0. Top of the third, Pajkos, 23 pitches, 2 innings, 2 hits, and a strikeout, faces Ramos, Harrison, and Cano. Ramos, great defensive shortstop, kept Carolina in games. Here he's bouncing that one to Balk, and Balk drops it. First error of the game by either team here. And this ought to be interesting with a man on first and no outs. Here comes Howell Harrison, who, of course, famous for his sack bunts. In yesterday's game, he had 1 at-bat, and he used it to score a hit. Here, that gets past Sherlew, and Harrison has just done whatever he wanted here, as Underwood tries to get Ramos away from the corner, but his throw is offline. So Ramos will be safe, and there will be runners on the corners with no outs. The bottom hitters effectively feed off of Pajkos, and he's in trouble. Cano already got a hit off of him, and comes up here in the third. On the full count, Cano strikes out on the fastball away. Here comes Juan Perez, who's 0 for 1. The doctor sure ordered a ground ball here, but is he going to get it? Juan Perez, 342 with the men in scoring position. Valdez has it, throws to first, and they will trade the out for a run. It'll be unearned, of course, as Feaster is out. But that's a great defensive play by Benji. Diving catch. He smothers the ball and then fires a missile, knowing he had no play at home. So Harrison will be on second with 2 outs for Connor McDonald, who is 0 for 1 on the day. Pajkos suddenly having a lot of trouble here. And the Tumbabrazos are now up. Tumbabrazos are now losing 3-1. About to be 3-2, as suddenly they cannot retire a batter cleanly. And McDonald is in there for extra bases with a triple. Sherlew trying to throw ahead of time, but I think they're going to call him safe. Del Castillo could not get to that ball in time, and the tying run will be on third. The go-ahead run will come to the plate, and what looked a little bit ago like a dominant performance has been shattered. If he can get Joey Cross out, that will go a long way towards forgiving this sudden implosion, as they have not been able to stop the run on basically any level. Joey Cross, 2-1. He already got a base hit last time. This is bounced to Valdez. If he holds on and throws, they'll at least have the lead. And that is exactly how it goes down. Valdez is able to throw to first, and that will retire the side. So it'll be a 1-run lead, and the Navegadores certainly have had experience holding on to those. Pajkos takes on no earned runs, but he's at 46 pitches. And the bullpen sure needed some rest today, so we'll see how far that can take him. Caballero had 32 pitches over those 2 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. He faces Shirley, who is 1-for-1 on the day. He had a triple last time. Here he bounces one to first base. Joey Cross has it, takes it himself, and that's out number 1. Vidal Santiago, 1-for-1 with a ribby. Can he make something happen here? He's been very cold during the playoffs, but here he had that RBI single in the first, and he strikes out again. Vidal Santiago, a lot of trouble in this postseason. He has struck out 11 times, drawn only 8 walks. Pablo Salmeron with 2 outs and the base is empty. Hopefully he can extend this inning some on the 0-1 pitch. Yes, he does. That'll be down. Even at Pablito's pitiful speed, that should hopefully be a double, as he'll have to make the long throw Cano from deep center. And he's in there. Pablito slides in with his first hit of the night with 2 outs. That moves the inning over to Frank de Castillo, and Salmeron's double raises his batting average in the postseason to 367. Can Frank move him along? He's 1-for-1. Hit 343 during the season with runners in scoring position. Bounced to Ramirez, who drops the ball. That's going to allow runners on the corners with 2 outs. And Caballero here, Valdez, if he can get another base hit or at least a long at bat, will have gone a long way towards restoring his reputation for playoff heroics, even though that inside the park home run already did some of that, let's say. Here we go on the 1-2 count. He strikes out. So 2 base runners are stranded. The Navegadores remain ahead 3-2, but they can ill afford another inning like their third. Rene Espinosa comes up to face Jan Pajkos. 3 innings, 46 pitches, 4 hits, and 2 strikeouts. And with all the full counts they've been drawing, it won't be long before Pajkos has to sit down for the night. That is flown out to center field. Underwood seems to have a good beat on it. He's walking underneath it, and he's got it. One-handed catch out there, quite confident. He'll now face Pedro Ramirez. 0-for-1 on the day. They badly need quick ABs here. Ramirez hits that one to Balk. He's got it on the line drive. And here comes Luis Holguin. 0-for-1 as well on the 1-0 count. Hits that one. Valdez has it. Makes the throw. And that's exactly the rebound inning Jan Pajkos needed. Little Jack gets through that one fairly quickly. Navegadores remain in the lead, and Balk, Underwood, and Stonehand have a chance to strut their stuff here. Balk, 0-for-1 on the day. Nicodemo Caballero, 49 pitches over 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Balk hits that one into right field. Holguin chasing it down, and that's why they pay him. That's a great running catch there. He covered a lot of ground on the exact kind of ball that for the Naves tends to make landfall out there. Here comes Graham Underwood. He's 0-for-1. Can he do anything against Caballero here? As on the 2-2 count, he strikes out looking. Fastball there, but at least it was a 7-pitch at bat. That's something. And here comes Stonehand. He drew a walk last time he came up. Can he do it again? The answer is he can. Stonehand makes it to first base again. And here comes Rob Feaster. Will he be able to take advantage here of the situation? That looks possible, as that eludes Cano in center field. It'll be Rob's first base hit in 5 games. There'll be 2 men on base for Shirley, who's 1-for-2. 2 on, 2 out. Shirley at the plate, and on the 1-0 count, Shirley lances that one into left field. It lands for Perez. He's got it. Line to left, but the side is retired, and you can see Stonehand in disbelief that that didn't make didn't touch grass out there. The Navegadores remained in the lead as we head into the top of the fifth. Edwino Ramos, Howell Harrison, and Cano will face Pajkos. These were the exact hitters that made his life hell a couple innings ago. Let's see how he gets through it. 4 innings, 61 pitches, 4 hits, and 2 strikeouts. Can he do any better this time? As Ramos bounces that one, Valdez this time, he's got it, makes the throw, and it's out number 1. Howell Harrison, who has so far never been unwillingly out, shall we say, is 1 for 1 on the day. 1 out, bases empty, as he'll take all of 2 pitches to decide this at bat. That is popped up into foul territory, and for the first time in this entire series, Howell Harrison is out without needing to be. Balk catches that one. Here comes Ricardo Cano. He's 1 for 2. With 2 outs and the bases empty, and a single on that first pitch a couple at bats ago. Here, Pajkos gets him to pop underneath a ball, and it's a big fly that Feaster is easily able to catch. So the side is retired. We are through 4.5. The Navegadores remain in the lead, and here comes Santiago, Salmerón, and Del Castillo. Caballero through 4 innings, 69 pitches, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Santiago is 1 for 2 with a ribby. Can he... Oh boy, he's going after the first pitch, huh? He hits that one far, but not far enough, as Cano is able to catch it on the run. And that's out number 1. A sinker inside jammed him up, and he was unable to get good contact on it. Here comes Salmerón. He already collected a hit. Can he do any better here with just the 1 out? On the 2-2 count. He strikes out apparently on a check swing call that did not look like he went around, but at least he took a few pitches to do it. And here comes Del Castillo with 2 outs and the bases empty. He's 1 for 2. Last time he came aboard on an error. This time on the 2-1 pitch. That's a hard crack to Ramos, but an easy scoop, an easier throw, and Del Castillo is out. We are through 5 innings. The Navegadores get nothing across, and they remain on a razor-thin 1-run lead. Pajkos through 5 innings on 66 pitches, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, faces Perez, McDonald, and Kroos. This is the first time Kroos has not been a leadoff in this one, and boy, with no ability to rely on the usually really heavy guns, we're going to need Norman and Pino to be ready to go. As here comes Juan Perez. He's 1 for 1. Or pardon me, he's 0 for 2 actually. Here, he's going to bounce that one past Valdez. On the 1-1 pitch, it'll be a single. Pajkos allowing a leadoff single there. That's been his demise so far. Here comes McDonald, who's 1 for 2 with a ribby. McDonald has never gotten a hit off of Pajkos in regular action. Let's see what happens here on the 1-0 count. Perez tries to steal, and Stonehand brought his throwing arm today to the ballpark. He is gunned down at second, and the bases will be newly empty. So at best, Connor McDonald can tie the game here. He tripled, of course, in the third. He's 1 for 2. And on the full count here, he hits that one to Shirley. He's got it, makes the throw overhand, and that's out number 2. Here comes Kroos. He's 1 for 2 with a single. Can they keep him under wraps here? Basically, this entire series is a struggle to see whether they can stop Kroos from homering. Wally Balk grabs that bouncer, and this time, make no mistake about it, he fires that missile across the hallway, and the score remains 3-2. 3 beautiful groundouts from Jan Pajkos as we head into the bottom of the 6th. Caballero had 79 pitches over 5, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Faces Valdez, Balk, and Underwood. Valdez with what we like to call the rush batting line. 2 at-bats, 1 hit, 1 home run, and 2 runs batted in. Can he make something happen here as he struck out back in the third on the 0-1 pitch this time? Flies that one out to right field where Orguin will not get to it in time. Apparently, he just didn't quite get the wind right. And Benji will be on base to start the inning. The only question is whether he will get thrown out at second. Here comes Wally Balk, who's 0 for 2. He did a little bit worse against lefties during the regular season. On the 1-1 count, here goes Benji, and he's going to steal well ahead of the throw from Harrison, which bounces off of The shortstop there, Ramos, it goes into the outfield, and Benji Valdez will take third on the throwing error from Harrison behind the plate. That puts a big-time insurance run just 90 feet away if Wally Balk can get something into the outfield. On the 2-1 count. Balk hits that one. It's a line drive into center field. And that's a big catch from Cano. He's going to make the throw to home. And Valdez is safe. It's a sac fly from Wally Balk as the throw takes Harrison off the plate. He is unable to bring it in. And the Navegadores will be up 4-2. Great catch from Cano there on the run. Looked like he was about to miss it. But Harrison had to come off the bag to catch that. Could not reel it in or tag Valdez. And the run scores. Here comes Graham Underwood, who's over 2. Base is empty with 1 out. He's usually been good for at least a hit per ball game. And it's not going to happen this time as Ramos grabs that one on the run. Makes the throw off his back foot to first. And Underwood almost manages to run it out, but not quite. Here comes Stonehand. He's drawn 2 walks on the day. So he has yet to record an AB. And on the 1-1 count, that will be bounced to Ramirez. And predictably, it'll be an easy ground out. Not a whole lot Spike can do. Underwood at least could have maybe run that out. Not going to happen for his colleague here. So the Navegadores pick up another run. They are now up 4-2. And as Norman and Pino take their places in the pen, Espinosa, Ramirez, and Holguin will face Pajkos, who is at 79 pitches over 6, 5 hits, and 2 strikeouts. Espinosa is 0 for 1. If he can get them to start pressing at the plate a little bit more and do exactly that, that is what we're looking for here. Espinosa pops up. He gets under that ball on the first pitch, and Shirley runs in all the way from second base to catch that near home plate. Apparently he called everybody off, which is interesting considering he was, standing on second base. Or near second base anyway, but he told everybody, hey, I've got this. Pedro Ramirez comes up. He's 0 for 2 on the day. And here on the 1-2 count, bounces that to Valdez. Valdez has it, scoops, throws. And boy, you are never going to get tired of that smooth motion from Benji. It's so easy for him to just turn around despite, how to put this nicely, he's got a lot of body, Benji. And yet, he manages to make athletic plays like that not only happen, but look like the most natural thing in the world. In one motion, he grabs that ball off the ground, transfers, throws it to first, and gets the ball there well ahead of time, just so the umpire has nothing to complain about. So here comes Holguin. He's 0 for 2 on the day, and on the 1-1 count here. Hard grounder, Shirley's got it, makes the throw. And once again, Pajkos able to deploy one of those great innings, all ground outs, and easy flyouts, I suppose. As during this 7th inning stretch, Caballero walks back out to face the top of the lineup. Feaster 1 for 3 after a single in the 4th. Caballero had 91 pitches over 6, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. And if I told you at the beginning of this game that a Navegador had drawn 2 walks, would you have guessed that it was Spike Stonehand? If so, I believe you are lying. Naguabo still, I think, needs some insurance runs here. And they might get them! Feaster with a long throw as that goes all the way to the wall. He hits it off the top there. Cano makes that throw to the cutoff man. And then the cutoff man to third, but Feaster is there just ahead of the ball. And it's a leadoff triple for Rob, who seems to be back in this game. We don't want to jinx it, but Feaster, the Nor'easter, puts himself into very good scoring position for Shirley, who's 1 for 3 on the day. If this is how this inning's going to begin, we hope that this is a sign of good things to come, as on the full count, Shirley grounds that one out to second base. They're going to try and make that throw at home. And the run will score, as far as I can tell. Espinosa throws home. And Harrison can't make the tag. The Navegadores managed to score on the fielder's choice as Espinosa, instead of going for the play at first, tries to stop the run, and Feaster beats the throw to the plate. So the Navegadores will be up 5-2 as Sherlew takes first base with no outs. Here comes Fidel Santiago. He's 1 for 3 with a ribby on the 2-2 count. Santiago hits that one into center field. It's over Ramos' head. Cano can't get there, and Sherlew will take second. So 2 on with no outs for Pablo Salmeron, 1 for 3. Usually I would say this is the moment for Pablo to really break out and show the Tumbas something they haven't seen before, but I have a feeling that's not what's in the cards here. Let's see. 1-0 count for him. He hits that one through first, and they're going to do not only an out, it's a double play. Joey Crow steps on his own bag and then goes to second. If just a couple of inches wide of his left leg, that gets through, and we're probably talking about a 6-run in instead of a ground into a double play. Pablo does much better coming off the bench, but Milne is also not a guy you want to trust against anybody, so I do get it. Here comes Frank de Castillo. He's 1 for 3. Still got a man on third with 2 outs. And with the lefties coming up, let's see whether Norman and Pino get back in the pen here. Can de Castillo bring in that run? That looks like it's got too much of an arc on it. Cano will be underneath it, and he's got it. We are through 7. The Navegadores are up 5-2 as we go into the 8th inning. 2 hits, 1 run in. And Pajkos will face, you guessed it, Ramos, Harrison, and Cano. Pajkos is at 87 pitches over 7 innings, 5 hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Ramos is 0 for 2 on the day. On the 1-2 count, Ramos hits that one. It gets past Sherlew. That's going to be his first hit of the night, as the last time he reached base was on an error. Underwood has to bring it in. And that's a man on with no outs for Howell Harrison. He's 1 for 2. He's done very well whenever there have been runners on base. Here, he bounces down to Valdez. He's got it, throws to first. Don't tell me he beat that. Don't tell me it's a bad throw. A tough play for sure, but we were just talking about how Benji can make these plays look great. And here it bounces away from Rob. He has to get off the bag. And that will bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Ricardo Cano to take on the lefties. Yeah, I think we have... This is the first decision we've had to make this entire time. I don't think there's much of a change between the two in terms of pitching here, but I mean, Pino's a worse pitcher, that's for sure, and he's more likely to allow home runs. That's also not by much. Let's try it out. Let's ride with our man, see what happens. It's an 0-1 count. Underwood chasing it down. Is he going to get there in time? I don't think so. That's going to score 2 runs. It'll be an extra base hit as Underwood has to make a long throw. It'll be a 2-run triple, and the tying run will be on third. So every game in this series destined to be a classic, it would seem. The Navegadores is still up, but now they're up 5-4. As that error from Valdez will be costly indeed. That gets over Underwood's head, and what could have been a sac fly, at least, if he'd been in position, ends up bringing in 2 runs. We are tempted here. Let's see. Juan Perez's ratings against lefties are significantly worse. Is that the case for McDonald as well? Yes, it is. And, well, Kroos is a righty. They don't have any outs, so we're just going to have to do this. Now pitching for the Navegadores de Nahuelva, number 24, Jean-Noel Pino. This is his first postseason action. I don't know if that's true in general, but it is for this. Yep. He will be facing at least, and of course they switched to Aubrey Handrahan immediately afterwards. When will we learn? Man on third and no outs for him. My guess is they'll pitch around. Ooh, Handrahan goes for the bouncer ground out. Valdez, no mistake this time. And they finally get an out. Throw to first there. Here comes Renteria, who's 1 for 6 during the postseason. The question here is how long they can hold this line, as Pino really shouldn't have been doing this. That's a ground out. They're going to go to home for one. No! Did they get him out? They did! Unbelievably, they stopped the run. Renteria is, Cano is out of the plate. And now to face Joey Kroos. Let's see here. Who would be the go-ahead run. We're going to bring in Francis Norman. This is his first postseason action, number 11. Let's see if he can hold the line here, or if this is the end of Joey Kroos being easily put under control here. Shirley has it, makes the throw in unbelievably. They have maneuvered their way around the top of the Carolina lineup. Naguabo remains ahead 5-4. As Ambar and Varela will go into the pen. Nicodemo Caballero, 7 innings, 110 pitches, 9 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. The Navis have one more chance to try and get runs off of him, and they're starting with Benji Valdez, who is 2 for 3 on the night. He had that inside the park home run. So all they have to do is hold it. 2-0 count on this one, and that is a long throw, and of course Cano is able to hold on to it. He read that ball perfectly. A big leaping catch from Ricardo Cano. You have to tip your hat to it. It is unbelievable that he was able to catch that. That is the exact kind of arc that eluded Ham Underwood in the top of the inning. So it'll be an out. What would have almost certainly ended with Benji on third. Here comes Wally Balk, who's 0 for 2 with a ribby. He takes Caballero to a full count and gets a strike. 3 call on him. That is the 6th strikeout of the game for Caballero. Here comes Graham Underwood, who is 0 for 3 on the day. 1-1 count. Hits that one hard, and it gets past Espinosa at second. Underwood gets his first hit of the game. Lands in at the short right. And with their 10th hit of the game, let's see if the Navis can get something cooking. Stonehand 0 for 1 on the day. Can he extend this inning at all? 1-1 count. Hits that one into left field. It is going to elude Perez and be down. It's going to land. Underwood going around to third. And we can't really see the action, as it's Conroy apparently there. It's a late throw, and it's a double for Spike Stonehand. With the top of the lineup coming up, Mark Conroy standing in over there in left, replacing Juan Perez. That's an interesting choice for sure. Let's see what's going to happen here as Rob Feaster, 2 for 4 on the day. With a triple, he's on a full count here. He's going to get that one into center field. It's a base hit. Spike Stonehand will be sent as they've got a 6-4 lead now. And he will be out. So it's an RBI single from Rob Feaster. We are through 8. The Navegadores ahead by 2. And with Natalino Diaz, Pedro Ramirez, and Luis Holguin up to bat. Let's see, how many other guys can they call upon here? Norman threw 1 pitch and got the key out there. Natalino Diaz is 3 for 8 in the postseason. He does exactly as well against righties. Now pitching for the Navegadores de Nahuatl, number 10, Kareem Anbar. He will be taking on number 22, Natalino Diaz, who is pinch hitting. Kareem Anbar in the postseason, 13 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 5 walks, and 20 strikeouts for a very nice ERA of 0.69. He, of course, got the win, first win of the postseason, in yesterday's game as he pitched 5 perfect outs with 2 strikeouts. Here against Diaz, on the 2-2 count, he has to hold a 2-run lead during the regular season. He went 6-0 with a 1.14 ERA. Just was absolutely the monster arm every bullpen needs. And you can see why there as he strikes out Natalino Diaz with that sinker. A 5-pitch at bat. He will now face Pedro Ramirez, who's 0-3. Ramirez taking him to a full count. And he gives up a walk. Right-hander Theo Boyce, number 5, will come to the plate here. He's 1-for-3 during the postseason. He will also take on Bard to a full count. And he swings and misses. 2 outs and a man on first for Edwino Ramos, who's 1-for-3. He's been doing very well during the postseason. He could come up big for his team here. As Varela, getting a little bit tired, sits down in the pen. Can Ambar finish him off here? The final out for Carolina. And Ramos strikes out! Kareem Anbar pitches the save inning. And they take a 2-0 lead here in Game 2. As you can see, Benji's 2-hit performance looms large. That 2-run homer ultimately made the difference there. A daring send from the third base coach. Jan Pajkos gets his 3rd win of the postseason, and it was a bit of an iffy start, unfortunately, for him. 7 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, but only 1 of them earned. 2 strikeouts on the day as well. And then, of course, we've got Pino and Norman coming in to hold during the 8th inning, and Kareem Anbar earning his 8th save of the postseason, pitching 1 inning in which he had 3 strikeouts and a walk. Nicodemo Caballero takes his 3rd loss of the postseason with 8 innings pitched, 12 hits, 6 runs, 5 of which were earned, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts, including a home run. A good team win as Rob Feaster eventually woke up quite a bit there towards the end. 3 hits. He seems to be on his way back to his usual self. Vidal Santiago as well, 243. And while it seems like we're returning to normal, Wally Boggs striking out a lot, Underwood getting maybe a hit per game, and Pablo Salmeron also being a little bit more down to earth, it's still exciting to see that the Navegadores are able to put it together. Ride a good pitching performance, a good start from little Jack Pajkos, and back him up with good hitting. We still need to see whether Quinn Levin or Stack will be able to sort of continue this role. If they can go into Carolina up 3-0, because Carolina is kind of a smaller stadium, that's the one where they have to really worry, because any ball that Joey Cross hits out could be long, long gone. We've seen him get balls over the roof in the wrong direction. But until we record Game 2, we hope that you're enjoying this one. We'll be back next time. But until then, gente, this has been, as always, Isidro Montalvo Espinosa, broadcast coordinator for Liga Nacional Puertorriqueña en Vivo. Buenas tardes, gracias mil, y Dios les bendiga.